Okay, good morning, everyone. I have Miss Courtney Blackwell here with us today. We're going to talk about getting things done using tools and apps for productivity for your organization and growing your business. Really, how do you use all these tools available to you to help you manage everything social media? So Courtney is a virtual assistant. She's got her company called Virtual Assistant Extraordinaire, and she is fabulous. So, Courtney, I'm going to turn it over to you. I'm going to pop open your presentation and share screen, and we'll get this going. All right.
Okie dokie. So we're talking about tools and apps for productivity, organization, and growth. One of the reasons I wanted to focus on this is because you don't want to start using a tool that can't grow with your business, because all of us want to grow. So this is all of it. All of these things are scalable. All of them can be applied long-term. So we're going to dive into a few different places here. It's not just social media. It's a little bit more than that. So now, Lou, you'll be making me go forward, or do I make me go forward?
I'll make you go forward.
Okay, you can go forward.
Okay.
So this is me. I've been a clinical social worker for 15 years. I turned entrepreneur when I moved to Israel because I couldn't speak Hebrew and I needed to do something. So about 4 years as a virtual assistant and ghostwriter, I help people find their voice and then write it for them. I also help just with business strategy and getting things established and getting startups moving and growing and getting that foundation established so that you can keep going. So the thing that's different about me as a VA is that I'm collaborative. I'm not a taskmaster. I'm all about, let's talk about it. Let's talk about who you are, what your personality is, and how we can implement systems and strategy that fits who you are and that reflects who you are on your website and in your business. So that's kind of what's different. So the basic tools for growable foundation. This is what I mean when I say getting that foundation laid so that you can get bigger and bigger and bigger. And you don't have to switch over, because migrating from one app to another is very difficult and things get lost in the process and it's time consuming. And if you're in a growth spurt and you need something more, then it's very, very derailing. It can be very derailing to switch from one application or one implementation to another. So let's go to the next one. These are the basic tools you need. You need a calendar. If you don't schedule it, it won't get done. I'm sure you guys have heard this over and over again. It's true. Write it down, put it on your schedule, schedule time for yourself, make appointments to do your blog posts, make appointments to do your social media, and keep appointments you have with your business. Project management tools. It's easy to lose when you're a solopreneur, when you're just getting started. It's easy to lose track of what you have to do and how you have to do it and when you have to do it. So these fancy to-do lists, which are your project management tools, really keep you focused. Your email management tool. Everybody knows if you're going to have an online business, you need to have an email list. So getting your email list where everybody's in one spot and you can send out beautiful emails is important. And then your social media management. Every single business that exists needs to have social media, because our society goes to their phone first to find out about a new business or a business they haven't heard of or an established business. How often do I pick up my phone and go, give me the hours for Hobby Lobby? I want to know, and that has to be online in order for that answer to come back to me. So getting on social media, getting online is very important for every brick and mortar business and every online business, of course. So go to the next one. Okay, so one of the fundamentals is Google Drive. One of the reasons I like Google Drive is that it does everything and it's cloud-based. So it functions like MS Office, Microsoft Office. If you're familiar, almost everyone in the world is familiar with that. It's the 800-pound gorilla in the market. So you already know it. You know how to use it. You understand the basics. There's a very small learning curve when it comes to using Google Drive and the apps that are part of Google Drive. It's cloud-based, so you can use it wherever you are, whenever you need to, on anyone's computer. You just have to sign into your account. It auto saves. It happened, I think, twice, and then I was like, no more. I was writing blog posts in WordPress and lost them, and they were long posts. One was a sales page and one was an actual post, and we're talking over 1,200 words that just disappeared. And after the second time it happened, I'm like, no more. So I love Google Drive because when I write, because I do a lot of writing, and if you're an online entrepreneur, you will do a lot of writing. You can write in the Google Docs app part of Google Drive, and I can just be in the middle of something and close my computer, and it saves. It's there. I don't have to worry about it. They have an offline feature too that allows you to save, so you don't ever have to worry about losing your information in the middle of creating it, which can be horrifying, and it's like a punch in the gut. It's shareable, so there's no limitation on the sharing that you can do with Google Drive. So you can share all the documents that you create within that. And it's not just writing documents. You can do anything, databases, spreadsheets, slide presentations, movies, all of that can be shared from Google Drive. And it's secure. Google is pretty secure. If you do like they ask you to with good passwords, then everything that you have in your drive is going to be pretty secure, and it's free. So you can apply your own domain names to Google Drive, but you don't have to, and you can continue to use all these features without having any cost you anything. So go to the next one. These are examples of Google Drive. This is what it looks like. On the picture on the right-hand side, I really like this because I don't think people realize this. These are comments that people have made on the document that's in this image, and this is one of the ways that's great to collaborate, because you can go back and forth and add comments and really brainstorm and edit and review and revise and really perfect whatever you're working on. And you can do this in all of the Google apps that are available through Google Drive, but this is the Word document app, and I really like this because people think, oh, well, I can't share it like I can on Word. Yes, you can. You can do exactly the same thing that you do on Word, and you have all this information here. So I love Drive. I could sell it. So I like it so much. But that's something people don't really realize, how collaborative Google Drive can be with your sharing. And you can choose who to share with and who not to share with. It's not everybody. So that's a convenient thing too.
And so the little folders where it says like budget proposal, you can set up your whole like organization there as well.
You can set up everything. You can set up everything in here. And it's not, don't misunderstand me. We're looking at a document here, like a Word document, but there are databases, there are spreadsheets, there are movies. Wow. There's a lot of different apps that are available in Google Drive, and all of it comes up on like this one screen. And then you can organize your folders like a filing cabinet, same sort of organizational structure as Microsoft Word. So it's very versatile, and it's secure, and it's available wherever you are, which is another thing I love. On my phone, even the mobile apps, this is something that people don't really realize. I use my phone a lot. And you want to have an app that you can use on your phone and on your computer. And so the Google Drive app on your phone is great too. It's very easy to maneuver. So
access something. Okay. Mm-hmm. Very cool. Okay.
Next one. So this is Google Calendars. I said there were four things that you needed. Calendar was one of them. Google Calendar is great because it integrates with so many different other apps. So if you have a certain calendar you use on your phone, it'll still integrate with your app on your phone. It has reminders to customize for your lifestyle. It's shareable, so you can, again, share your whole calendar or share certain events with certain people. You can invite people. You can see who's coming to an event. It's very, very open that way. It has tasks, so you can add reminders for tasks. It's very user-friendly, and there's a buttload of tutorials for Google Drive and Google Calendar online that are very easy to follow along with, and that will help you dig into a lot of the features. And it's customizable. I happen to love color coding. I can do a lot of that on Google Calendar. So if something is an emergency, it's in red. It's very important it's in red. So that's one of the reasons I like Google Calendar. Here's a couple of examples. You can see the color coding here. You can automate all of these things as far as your color coding is concerned. And so it makes it very easy to, at a glance, look at what's on your calendar, what you have to do, who you have to contact, that kind of thing. We'll go to the next one. Project management and to-do lists. Basically what project management is, it's making sure everything on your to-do list is done. So there are 4 different apps that I have tried and that I liked. I have a tendency to stick to one, and sometimes depending on how I'm organizing or restructuring, because right now I'm in this process of restructuring, I have switched over to a different app, and so it's working. It's really working for me. So we'll talk about that. Go to the next slide. There are 4 here that we're going to go over. There are a lot of project management and to-do lists. Todoist is a really good one too. It's got a freemium. It's not one I listed here, but it's a great one. AnyDo is what I use right now. And we'll look at these, we'll look at some of these images. Asana is another one. Basecamp is a huge project management app that we do use in NACWE. And then Workflowy is something that I think is great for brain dumping. There's also one called MindMeister if you're more of a visual person, where you actually create visual maps, and MindMeister will help with organizing your projects that way. Go to the next slide. So the next slide is some images from my actual AnyDo list. It's clean. The interface is real clean. I don't like busy interfaces. I already have so much stuff swirling around in my head. I don't want a lot of images or graphics. I want things to be real clean and easy to find or easy to organize. There are 2 different ways you can look at. You'll see in the first box on the left, you've got all the tasks for whatever you're doing, and then you see in the 2 boxes in the middle that you can look at it via a timeline, or you can look at it via category. And then on the far side, you'll see that it's shareable. You can add attachment. It also integrates with Google Drive. You can add notes. There is commenting that you can do back and forth. It's easy to follow along with the conversations, and it's both iOS and Android, and there's a free version. That's another thing, especially when you're starting up, that I have a premium version of this. It's like $2.50, I think, $2.50. It's really cheap per month or something, really, really affordable. And but this will scale to a huge team. It's not just for a small business or for a solopreneur, but it does work great when you're starting out and you don't need something that's super team heavy like Basecamp. Go to the next one. Asana, it's another real clean interface. You can see the interface here. It's got a lot of the same features. It's set up a little differently than AnyDo. It is more team-based from the very beginning. So all of these can be solo or team-based, but this one I think starts out as a team thing, and it will give you, you'll see it has, you can view it in 2 different ways. You can do it by your individual tasks, you can do it by timeline, and you can view it by project. So in this one does have a free version. Again, it's another one of those apps that has the free version, and if you want to upgrade, you get premium features, which sometimes includes like more to-do lists, or you can just get it bigger and bigger, and that's one of the reasons that it's great to start with one of the free versions. This is iOS and Android. It integrates easily with calendars. One of the things that I have a problem with, or I take issue with Basecamp, is that sometimes it's really hard to follow the conversations that are happening with the projects that you're working on. And I think both AnyDo and Asana make that a little easier to follow those conversations. So that's when you're working with a team and you're collaborating, it's important to be able to understand how the communication is coming in line. So we'll go to the next one, which is Basecamp. This is Basecamp. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. Basecamp is great because, okay, if you look, you can see all the projects on the left-hand side listed out. You just click on the project. You can see who's part of that project, what the project is about. When you open up a screen like that, it looks like the second picture from the left, where there's all the to-do lists and who's assigned to them and dates and all that stuff. The third picture is if you opened up your particular view of the tasks or the project that you're on, then you'll see some of the comments. And so in order to find out what's happening or what was actually said on that particular comment, you have to click into each of those things. I find this a little bit cumbersome. Not everybody will, but I do. I find it cumbersome to kind of have to dig to find what's happening on the task I'm working on, what's that conversation about. And then the other screen, this is one of the things I do like about Basecamp, is that when you're in, you can do a whole project in the Basecamp itself and respond to whoever's working on it, collaborate on it, just like you can on anything else. So the collaboration is great. There's a trial period for this. There's no freemium version. And freemium, if you guys don't know, is basically almost a full app offered to you for free. And then if you want additional features, you can buy the paid version. So this one only has a trial period. I think it's 30 days. It might even be less than that. It does have good integration with Google Calendar, but it is really, it is a beast of a project management app. It is just full of all kinds of features and stuff. I don't suggest beginners starting with this because it can be very time consuming. The learning curve is bigger on Basecamp than it is for some of the other ones that we've mentioned. Let's go on to the next slide. This is workflowy. It's very simple. It's basically an outline program. It helps you outline what you're doing. So if you see here, you have daily tasks, and you can do a lot of different things. There are users often take these apps and develop ways to use them even better to improve productivity with the way they use them or how they integrate them with other programs. Like Evernote has something called the secret weapon, which is a way of using Evernote that help you with task management. So I like this because you can take, say, daily tasks. I have something I have to do every day. Then I do the sub menus, and then every Monday I have to do this, and every Tuesday I have to do that. So it gives it in this outline form. And for people who are very organized and need that order, this is great for brain dumping. If this is how you think, it's great for brain dumping. I would say the complement to this would be MindMeister, which is also another free app that does a very visual thing where you start with your circle in the middle, and it actually puts little circles on the outside. So if you're more of an abstract thinker, then you can put those things in the circles they need to go in.
How do you spell MindMeister?
M-I-N-D. It's M-I-N-D. I'll type it in the
okay, chat.
Yeah.
Fabulous. Okay.
That's MindMeister. And I have MindMeister on my phone for those initially when I do ideas. It's just because I'm a visual person. I'm an artist. You can see my painting in the background. I want to be able to use the pen and paper kind of method or something that's a little bit more visual before I go into the organized. Because I usually start out here and narrow it down into stuff that's very, 1, 2, 3 kind of thing.
Me too, sister.
So, yeah. So I can do both, but I start at one place and I have to narrow myself down. And so that's why I have certain tools that I use. I wouldn't recommend that for everybody because it depends on how you think what's the best way to organize for you, which is why I kind of given these different solutions. Go to the next slide. We're moving on to email management tools. So this is pretty simple. We all need an email list. We all need a way to send stuff to our email people on our email list, our subscribers. You want something that's going to look nice. You want someone that's going to catch attention, and you want something that's easy to manage. So let's look at the tools we have here. In my research that I did yesterday, I actually found that I might be switching over to a different program. So your MailChimp is one that I've been using from the beginning. I think it's great. I love the simplicity of it. I think it's a clean outline, a clean layout. They offer drag and drop templates, and you can build your own. It can also take code. So there's a lot to it. Some of the drawbacks I think of MailChimp are form integration into your website. You can't customize that as much as some of the other things, or the designs that they already have, the way the forms are integrated, it just doesn't always go with a person's style. It doesn't go with the way you want to do things. Sometimes it's very rudimentary. Sometimes you want it to be that simple, and sometimes you want to be able to add a little bit more flair. So it's very user-friendly. They have an amazing support knowledge base, so you can type in any question, and oftentimes there's videos, there's step-by-step tutorials that you can just read, and it'll tell you exactly how to do something. I love that it's so easy to find help or get help on there. The customer service is good, and it integrates great with WordPress. And there's a varying cost with this one depending on your list size, so you don't have to start off with paying $30 a month with one subscriber or to build your list. So I appreciate that about MailChimp too. It kind of grows with you. All right, next slide. ConvertKit is the one that's kind of changed my mind since I started researching some of these. I know that I'm pretty sure that NACWA uses ConvertKit. So it's designed for bloggers. It's designed for online marketers. So we know that we have to have this drip kind of content when we have opt-ins. We have these things that we have to send out, these free gifts that we give people for subscribing to our list. This makes it very easy to make sure that all the steps are covered, that everything is done, all the boxes are checked, and that everything you need in your sequence is completed. ConvertKit does not have any freemium or trial, so you have to be able to afford it from the very get-go. So if you have one person on your list, you have to be able to afford the list that costs that much. It does have differing costs depending on list size, which is great. But the features that are offered for each of those is exactly the same. I think it's pretty user-friendly, and it has a lot of different integrations. I think there's 35 integrations, so it can integrate with your customer service app that you're using, whatever customer service application that you have, like your CSR. And so I think that's what it's good for. It's just keeping you on track as an online entrepreneur for getting everything out to your to your clients and your customers. So it's easy to segment, it's easy to do groups, it's easy to exclude people. There's just a lot of great features specifically for online entrepreneurs. This is not necessarily the best for brick and mortar entrepreneurs, but definitely for online entrepreneurs. So next slide. Constant Contact is a perfect starter email app. It's so easy to use, and the templates are beautiful. It's just really, you fill in information. There are nice pictures available. Again, it's a drag and drop editor. It is probably the easiest email management tool that I've ever used, and I used it years and years ago. And so this is one of the best ones. If you're just starting out, if you're tech terrified, this is a good one to start with, because it's not overwhelming, and it's really easy to manage. The layout and design, the interface is clean. It's not going to confuse you, and they have really responsive support. So I like Constant Contact too, and it's affordable. Next one. Aweber is, I think, expensive. They have a free trial, I think, for 30 days. I think this one, one of the things, the drawbacks of MailChimp was not having these customizable opt-in forms that you can put on your website. They're limited in design. Aweber allows a lot more design options when it comes to those opt-ins and pop-ups that you can put in your website. Aweber is a little bit more expensive. I think it's a little bit more difficult to operate, not for everyone, but for a beginner, I think it would be overwhelming. They have dependable customer service, and they are good with the sequence follow-up. So any emails that you send out in sequence for people responding, there's a lot that you can do to interface with those subscribers. So it's worth looking into. All of these will scale with your business. All of them will. And all of them will meet your basic needs as your business grows. So you can keep that in mind. It just is, sometimes it comes down to the interface that you're using, and sometimes it comes down to your own ability to learn or willingness to learn the app. So those are sometimes the defining factors. I personally choose some things because I said my mind is swirly. I do not want stuff on my screen that's also swirly. I don't want to have to look everywhere to find something. I want a very, very clean interface because I've got a lot of things going on already. So I think that's a good. Kim, were you going to say something?
It has to be super simple for me to use.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Aweber is a little bit more, I think it's a little bit more intricate, and it's not bad by any means. I did not put anything on here that you're going to have to read manuals to figure out how to use. But this one is still not one of my favorites because I think it's for a more advanced user. It's not a beginning tool. So the way they have it laid out is not a beginner's tool. There's going to be a learning curve with Aweber. So let's move on to the next, social media management and publication tools. Now, there are a lot of these. We're going to go over just a few of them. I am very partial to a couple. I can tell you right now, I've used a few. It's been a few years since I've used some, but I am very partial to a couple of these. Let's move on to the next slide. CoSchedule is my favorite. I'll tell you right now. It's a content publishing platform. It's very user-friendly. You can see on the picture on the left is, okay, let me back up. CoSchedule is for content. It's for publishing your content. It's not for necessarily managing your interactions with your social media. It's really for putting it out there. So CoSchedule integrates with WordPress, and the WordPress app, the WordPress plugin that it has at the bottom of every single page, you get this option on the left side. You'll see this box, and you get to choose where it publishes and how often it publishes and when. So I do with some of my posts. So you automatically can get your social media scheduled for 6 months, 8 months, a year. You can do in case you missed it, or this is what we were doing a year ago, or last Christmas, and do a customized date for a year out, so that you have something that's on your social media, that's coming up on your social media all the time. And you can do it very easily from inside every single blog post or page that you put on your WordPress. And I love this because it makes it so easy to schedule things out. And if you don't know what you posted, then the picture on the other side is exactly what the calendar looks like. This is what it looks like when you choose, okay, I've posted to Pinterest and Facebook and Twitter, and this is what I posted on this day. Oh, I also have this one going out that I did a year ago. And so you can see what you've got going on every one of those days. And I think this is great because it gives you an overview. You can go in and edit each one of these individually. You can do, when you do it from inside the WordPress post plugin, then you can do it all at once. You can cover all your social media at once with one thing, and then you can go back and edit each one individually if you need to. You can move these around. If you said, well, I don't want to post this today, I want to post it on Thursday, you can just drag and drop it to the next day. It's very, very, it's easy to manipulate. And the coaching and the website itself, there is a pay. You do have to pay for this. There's a trial version, but you do have to pay for CoSchedule. I think I pay $19 a month for just to have. I'm just one person. I don't have a team. So right now, so the thing with this is that there's so much learning that happens. There's so much learning they send to you on their emails. There's a headline tool that you can use to gauge your headline, give you a grade on your headline and whether it's something that you can really will catch people's attention. I love CoSchedule. It's so easy to use, and there's a mobile app that's pretty easy to use too. So Karen, Lou, did you have?
I have a question on, okay, so I'm probably the only person in the world that started their website on Squarespace instead of WordPress. So, Kim is like, nah. So, and I'm not ready to move over to WordPress yet. So CoSchedule is only in WordPress?
I don't know much about Squarespace, so I don't build websites. Okay. I don't know if you could integrate. You might be able to put a CoSchedule plugin on Squarespace. I don't know, but here's the deal. CoSchedule is also web-based, so you don't actually need it as a plugin. You can actually go to the website and use it on the website and do the exact same things I'm talking about here.
Okay, good.
You don't have to do it through WordPress, but it just makes it so much easier because you're already in WordPress, you're already thinking about your social media, you already know you need to post, and so everything's right there on that page.
Okay.
So that's one of the reasons I love it, because it's so integrated into what we're already doing. But you can also use it as a web app.
Okay. Awesome.
You don't have to put it on. You don't have to use it as a plugin, which I think makes it very versatile. Okay. So, all right, next slide. Let's go move on to the next one, social media management stuff. This is Buffer app. Back up one. Yeah. Buffer app is something I used years ago. It has developed quite a bit since then. It's great it's a content publishing platform. It's user friendly. I think it's a pretty clean interface. The mobile platform is available. It has a freemium, which is great, so you don't have to pay for everything right out of the box. And it integrates well with other apps like IFTTT, which is if this, then that. I don't know if you guys know this app, but it's great for automation, and WordPress. So I don't remember. The only thing I didn't like about Buffer app was the interface at the time that I used it, but you can see that this is a great interface because it provides these tabs at the top so you can look at your analytics and your scheduler and your settings all very easily. So I like that everything's available right there. Next one. Hootsuite. I don't like Hootsuite. I'll tell you guys right now. I don't like it because I think it's super busy. I think it's very difficult for beginners to manage and to integrate and to really learn. There's a huge learning curve with Hootsuite, in my opinion. It looks pretty, but if I looked at the screen and said, okay, what do I need to do next? Or how do I do this? It's not very intuitive. And that's one of the reasons I don't like Hootsuite. I don't find it very intuitive. There is a learning curve. It is an effective app. It is widely used. It has a lot of integrations. There's great analytics that come with Hootsuite. It does have a limited freemium. It's great for teams. And if your thing is social media and everything you do is driven by social media, there's a lot of space to have a lot of streams and a lot of interaction on a lot of streams. I personally think you should have one or two or three at most social media that you focus on and that you drive. So, but if you're a social media, if that's your thing, this is the great way to do it. But it is definitely not for a beginner. There is a learning curve, and it can be complicated. So that's Hootsuite though. But it's a very popular app, and it's out there. People are using it. There are just simpler apps if you're using a smaller thing. Post Planner is something that's very simple to use. It's great for beginners. The interface is clean. It's easy to see what you have scheduled, what's missing, what's been posted in interactions, that kind of, your analytics. It's very easy to share. And I mean, you can see the interface here. I think it's one of the easier ones, especially if you're a beginner. It's a great place to start. And then the next one is something that people don't often know, that you can schedule posts within Facebook for free. It's easily learned. If you're already in Facebook, it's a great place to do. If that's your main social media is Facebook, then it's great. You just can publish from here. There's another way. If you go into your publishing tools, when you're in Facebook, you can see you can't click on it on this picture, but you can see where it says publishing tools and your admin page. And it's very easy to publish and schedule apps from your publishing tools. It'll say schedule posts, so you can schedule from there. You can't see them as neatly as you could in like Post Planner or CoSchedule of like what's coming up. You can't see them as easily, but you can do it from there. It's free. It's all right there. It's easily learned. It's self-contained. So people don't always know that you can do that, but you can. So you don't actually have to spend anything if you don't want to or don't have the budget for it. All right, next. Okay, helpful plugins for WordPress. This is not going to help you at all, Lou, but anybody who's not on WordPress, this probably won't be very helpful. So the next slide, we're talking about some of the things that I love for organizing and keeping your stuff, on point. CoSchedule, we already talked about. It's very convenient. It's different from the WordPress publish feature, which is integrated already into WordPress. You can personalize it more and customize it more through the CoSchedule plugin. WordPress doesn't let you do that. There's limited customizing when you're auto-publishing when the WordPress publish feature has to do with publishing to your social media once you publish your post. I don't know if you guys know that, but that's what the WordPress publish feature is. And you can't customize that as much as you can the CoSchedule plugin. The Yoast is an SEO coach plugin. It appears on every single page and post. It helps you their freemium version is amazing. You can get everything you need on their freemium version, but it will highlight passive voice, which is a problem I have. It will point out if your keyword things are low, or it gives you a prompt to do your meta description in a better way. It allows you to enter in pictures and make sure you have pictures. It does statistics for like, you have 20% transitional words and you need less than, or you have 30% transitional words and you need less than 20. There's a lot of things that it coaches you on, and it has a yellow, green, and orange light. So you know exactly where you are. You want to aim for that. It's kind of a game too, because you want to get that green light. The MailChimp for WordPress is an integration. It's an app that I use. I think it's $35 a year, but it allows you to do multiple lists on your site. So you can do different, if you have one page that's a sales site for instance, for me, I do ghostwriting. So if I have someone who is interested in ghostwriting, they can sign up for a specific list to just hear about my ghostwriting. If I have someone who's interested in startup and beginning coaching, then that's a different list, and I can put a different opt-in or different list on that page. So it allows you to have multiple lists throughout your website, and it's very easy integration with that, with just a short code that you can write in, and the cost is great. It also allows you to customize your forms so that they look the way you want them to look instead of the way that they're told they have to look. So I appreciate that too. The next slide.
Can I ask a silly question?
Absolutely, but I don't think questions are silly. Go ahead.
Okay, on Yoast.
Yes.
And they talked about it a couple weeks ago, but I'm having trouble wrapping my head around this. If I don't mess with my website girl does that. Would Yoast be beneficial for me on something I'm going to post on Facebook or anything else? And how would I be using it, I guess is what I'm confused on.
Yoast is really, it started as a WordPress plugin. I don't know if you can use it on the social media separate from, like, I don't know if it's web-based. I only use it on my WordPress. It will be helpful for your girl to use it, absolutely. And if you follow along with whatever she sets up, if she gets that green light on your post and you use the same words or the same SEO that she's using and you use it on your Facebook stuff, that would be helpful. I don't know if there's one that just is for social media and doing social media posts. I'm not sure about that. It really is a WordPress plugin integration.
Okay.
So, and it does, and Yoast does have, in Yoast on WordPress, there is a tab where you can go in and customize your social media that it actually doesn't integrate with CoSchedule. This is a little bit confusing. Yoast will help you customize your WordPress publish feature that you already have built into WordPress a little bit more, but not as much as CoSchedule will. So, but it will help you do that. It prompts you to get that stuff done and make sure you're doing everything you need to do to keep building traffic. I love Yoast. I've been using it for years and I swear by it, especially for SEO.
Okay.
And the other thing about Yoast is they seem to keep doing updates. Like this guy keeps educating himself. SEO changes because people don't realize that when Google, because Google's the 800-pound gorilla in the market, that's what everybody uses. When Google changes its algorithms for doing searches, you have to keep up with that. And it hasn't changed in a couple years, but this guy, the guy who does Yoast, that's actually his last name. And he's German or Dutch or something. And he keeps up with those algorithms. He did a huge update when they went to Panda. And when Google went to Panda, he did a huge update to make sure that his app was still current for what was happening in the SEO world and with SEO tech. So I appreciate that about this app. He stays on top of stuff. He's also got great customer support, and there is a learning curve with Yoast, but it is worth it. It is absolutely worth it. He's got great customer support, great knowledge-based stuff you can look at, and it's very findable and easy. It's also very colorful. His website's very colorful, just so you know. Lou, did you have a question?
Nope.
Okay. So next one. Okay, good stuff. There's some good stuff coming up here. You want images on everything. Images are important. Yoast will prompt you for it. You want to have images. So next slide. Royalty-free images. This is important to understand. There's totally royalty-free, like Creative Commons stuff where you can use it for anything, anytime, anywhere. And then there's stuff that's royalty-free, but you have to do like credits, photo credits, which is fine depending on how you do your business. What you need to be careful of is that you think something is royalty-free, but it's not, and then you post somebody else's picture, they can sue you for it. And it's ridiculous, but because there's so much content out on the internet, it's ridiculous. So these 4 are absolutely royalty-free content that you can use without photo credits and without paying for them, okay? Because this is your source. Morguefile is hooked up with another pay company that I can't remember the name of right now, but Morguefile is it's user-submitted images. Some of them are great. Some of them are like, why is this here? But you can sort through them and you can find so much content, some things that are very different. And I say foreign content is available because there's a distinction. If you look at a lot of pictures, if you search images a lot, you can see whether something's very Western, as in popular culture, American popular culture, or if it's more of a foreign feel to it. And sometimes you want that. Sometimes you want that feels a little bit different, or that the background is different, or that has a different language on a sign. So you can find a lot of that there. Unsplash, almost everybody knows Unsplash. It's beautiful. The pictures are gorgeous. The quality is amazing. The download is amazing. The size of the images is amazing. And the truth is, with Unsplash, you can even use those images to create your own art. So Unsplash is like a Creative Commons outlet. It is absolutely free in every single way. Gratisography is not one that's so known. The content there is limited, but it's very unique. It doesn't, the thing on Unsplash is if you look at those pictures, they all kind of look the same. They have the same feel to them. Gratisography is very different. The coloring is a little different. The brightness, the colors he uses, or he or she, I don't know, but they are also royalty free, and it's great for something if you want something that looks a little bit different. And then Death to Talk Photo is actually a subscription service, but if you sign up for their email, they'll send you 10 free a month that you can use royalty free. And it's also high quality images. There's a lot of different content that comes out in those packages every month, and it's worth it to look at that stuff and get those, because there's just different things that come out. One time there was a kitchen one, and it was all this dude cooking in the kitchen, and a mortar and pestle. He was like doing this gourmet meal. It was really neat. And then another time there was a woman. It's like she woke up on her birthday. That's what the whole 10 pictures was. It was like she woke up on her birthday and her partner took pictures of her. So and you get this kind of content, and it's very versatile, and so you can use a lot. You can do a lot with it. Next slide. These are graphic design tools. In your social media, go ahead to the next one. In your social media, you'll see these blocks that people do, these memes that people create. They create them with things like Canva and PicMonkey. The good ones are created that way. Some people just can create on the phone with a photo collage, but step your business up a notch, make it look more professional, and use something like Canva or PicMonkey. Canva is like the dummy version. I mean, I'm like really dummy version of something you would have in Photoshop. It's a graphic design tool. There's a lot of layouts, professionally designed layouts and templates that you can use. There are images available for they're $1 a piece. They don't ever seem to be more than that. So you can use images and stuff from Canva, or you can download your own photos. There is different text available. There's different graphics available. There is a lot available in Canva. And if you don't buy anything from them, you can do all your design in there and download it for free. So if you're good at design, it's a great tool. If you're not so good at design, it's also a great tool. It's just going to cost you a little bit more. So they have free templates you can use, and they also have paid ones that you can use. Canva is a great thing to learn. The learning curve is pretty easy. They have an initial video, like when you first sign up for Canva, that'll walk you through every single step, everything you need to do, and a little trial thing, which I love. It's very, very easy for beginners. And if you're tech terrified, you'll be able to use Canva without freaking out. PicMonkey is a little bit more complicated, but if you want to adjust the color or highlights on a picture or fix a face, PicMonkey's where to go to. Again, it's like a dumbed down version of Photoshop. Some of the features of Photoshop. And then here's a little bonus, Grammarly. Grammarly is a app that you install on your browser. And so basically everything that comes up on your screen that's within your browser, it's going to highlight if you have grammar or spelling errors, including, Kim, I don't know if you know this, but including your Facebook posts, including little text messages you might see, notes you write to yourself, everything. It will come up and say, oh, this is a problem. And there's a little icon that comes up so you know it's the Grammarly icon that's working on whatever you're writing. So Grammarly is great for making sure if you're a person who's prone to spelling errors, like I drop endings a lot because I get typing and I don't think, and I'll drop the S or add an ED when I shouldn't. So it's great for catching that kind of stuff. And it's free. There is a premium version for that, but the freemium version works. Will meet pretty much everybody's needs. It depends on what kind of job you do. As a writer, I probably should have paid for the premium version, but I don't. So that's the Grammarly is a great one. Next slide. Okay, here are my tips. These are the basic things you need to know for getting and staying productive. Okay, go ahead to the next one. Plan. You need a business plan. What are you selling? Why and how and who are you selling it to? You have to plan. You have to know this stuff. In order to write anything, to post anything, you have to know. That is the basic thing. You have to be able to answer those questions. That is your business plan. We're not talking 10 pages or 20 pages prospectus kind of thing that you're going to hand to investors. We're talking about just in your head, be able to answer those questions. The second one is you need a marketing plan. Who and what are you selling, and how will they know about you? How and when? How are you going to tell them? What's your plan for getting yourself, your face, your services, your product out to these people? you have to have a plan. And once you have answered those questions, and I have condensed this down into a very, very simplistic way of putting this, but we're talking about planning here. It's all about planning. When you have a clear plan, sometimes it takes a long time to get to a plan, but once you get that plan, then you can execute it. And creating a schedule and sticking to it is one of the very most important things you can do. I recently learned there's a difference between process goals and I've totally lost my train of thought, but there's something called a process goal, and planning is a process goal. It is what you don't necessarily see a result for, except that you have a bunch of notes, or you have a clear picture, or you can do your elevator pitch like that. That's what a process goal is. It's all the planning that goes into what you have to do to execute. And those goals can't be overlooked. You have to do your process goals in order to meet your productivity goals. Okay, so that's what planning is. Marketing plan and business plan. Start with those plans, and then create a schedule and stick to it. Making an appointment to do your blog post, make an appointment to do your social media, make an appointment to research the app you're going to use for your project management. Those are important things that are going to move you along for everything that you do with your business. And it is the way to stay productive. Make that schedule, create that schedule, and stick to it. Because this can be very overwhelming when you're first getting started. Making that business plan and making that marketing plan, you're like, what? I don't even know what that means, business plan. And if you Google business plan, you're going to end up with some sort of template for 20 pages of information that is unnecessary for what you need to do right now. What you need to do right now is be able to answer those questions that are on the screen. And that's where you start. You don't have to have something that's ready for investors. And because we're talking about online businesses here, we're not talking about brick and mortar where you need to buy a location. Your business can be started for a very small amount of money, if any at that, and you can build it from there. You can really start your business without even having a website. I don't suggest it, but you can with just posting on Facebook and starting that email list. So you can do it, but these are the things that people have a misconception that it takes a lot of money. It doesn't. It takes a good plan. So next slide. Those are my tips. Now, the services that I offer, I do beginner business coaching. And there's a lot of business coaching out there that offers for people who want to grow their businesses, who want to make them bigger and earn more money. But the problem is, when I got started, I needed help then. And so I want to know, what's the strategy? How do I get a business plan for what I need? How do I do my social media plan? What is my marketing plan? These are the things, and there's all these steps. I've got a website. Now what do I do? People don't know the answer to this question. And that's what I mean by Start Here business coaching. And I'm offering an introductory package right now for $750, and it's 12 weeks worth of one-on-one plus all the contact that you need to really get yourself started. Checklist, to-do list, getting yourself planned and written up. I do writing services, ghostwriting and copywriting for your website and your business, and then social media management. All of these services that I offer are collaborative. You're not going to call me and say, hey, this is the business I do. Will you do the social media? I'm going to go, no. What do you want? What are we saying? Who are we talking to? What is the vibe we're putting out there? Are we sassy or are we really, really sweet? What's the deal? So we want to find that voice and develop that in both the writing and the social media. And then the website management stuff that I do is I manage created websites. I do not create websites, but I create my own websites, but I don't do that for anyone else. So I know the functionings and how to work those. I have people who write code for me, but I will help, create new pages, do your functional flow, your SEO management, blog posting, and just manage what's already there. So those are the services I offer for VA. And if you guys have any questions, if you need to ask me anything, you can ask me in the Facebook group. You can ask me later. You can email me. I don't care. I'm really good about you can even text me. Those of you who have my number, I gave it to a bunch of people, so let me know. Lou, do you have something?
Yeah, just
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it for me. If you guys have any questions, I'm ready to answer them.
I'm going to unmute. Kim, do you have any questions or Esther?
Do you guys have any apps that you use that I didn't mention that you like?
I'm actually using eye contact for my construction company. I've been using it for a long time for our newsletters. And like you talked about, constant contact, it was super simple to get set up. There's probably only one or two minor things that I wish I could add fonts to their choice of fonts. But
yeah. Yeah, it's good when you're starting out to have something that's super, super simple, especially, like I said, if you're tech terrified. So I help people get over that. Like I helped Karen get over that. But if you're tech terrified, some of that, with all the stuff you have to do when you're starting an online business, you want stuff that's super simple and that looks simple. Even if it's not simple, let it look simple to me. So at least when I look at it, I'm not intimidated, you know? That's important.
And for me, it's not so much tech terrified. It's like, do I have time for the learning curve of this?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I need it to be simple just to make sure it happens.
And I'm totally on that board with that too. I was searching for new project management tools and I found one. It's called Rike, and I found it very complicated. And I'm like, I can't use this.
We use that at my old job, and was one guy who's just super, super, super techie, and he was like, I just love it. It's gonna be so great. And everyone was like, you just slowed us down, like, you know, to a crawl. Because while we had this momentum going, now it's like we have to learn this, and I don't know where stuff is, and how do we use it? And you know, it's just there's got to be ways that people can integrate easily into tools, and they've got to think about that.
And that's one of the reasons that I mentioned some of these tools, because if you're building a team, you may have someone who's great at doing the thing you need them to do, but they may be terrible at tech. And so you want some of these tools that are really simple to learn. They may not have the learning curve, or they may not want to. They may not want to learn how to use Rike and AnyDo so much easier, you know? And you have to consider that. You want, there are certain fights you want to fight. You've heard this, fight the fights that are worth fighting. Fighting with tech and integrating your team into your tech is not a fight worth fighting. It's just not. Getting them trained, getting them to, you know, honing them to really do what you need them to do, that's worth doing. But not trying to teach them the tech that you're using. It's just not worth it. For someone who's like a superstar with, like, I don't know, writing. You know, if you have someone who just is a great writer but can't seem to function in Basecamp, you know, you don't want to have to fight with them about that.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Well, thank you so much for taking an hour and spending it with us, and all the prep work you did to put this together. This was super valuable. I think it's giving me a lot of questions just personally, but also thinking, you know, putting some nuggets out there into the Facebook group and seeing what people are using, seeing what hurdles they've got or have overcome, and how this could help them. So thank you so much. I'm going to stop recording and we're going to say goodbye. All right. All right. Have a good week, everyone.
All right.
Bye.